One day, Yen Si saw a very auspicious planetary alignment. Curious, he sought news only to discover that the Venerable Lao Tzu had decided to leave his position at the Royal Archives and renounce the world. Yen Si hurried toward the mountains, searching for the wise master, afraid that his wisdom would be lost forever. His quest was finally over when he caught up with Lao Tzu near the Hankou Pass. Yen Si humbly approached Lao Tzu and said, "Revered sir, you are such a wise man, and these are such troubled times. Could you write just a few words to help man understand the nature of things?" Lao Tzu was so moved by this plea that he immediately sat down on the prayer rug that Yen Si provided for him. Then, with the stroke of his brush and a handful of bamboo sticks, the spiritual masterpiece referred to as the Tao Te Ching came to be. This book of 5,000 words contains powerful insights into the nature of all things in the universe. The Tao is considered by many the most powerful teaching the world has known. Please join us this week as we look into the Tao of Awareness. Welcome to Aspire. We're going to conclude our series on the heart of the Tao in this particular discourse. This one is important because it sums up everything that we've sought to offer you in the last 7. We're going to be working on the Tao of Self-Awareness. Let me read to you number 63 in the Tao, which sums up our work. Practice non-action. Work without doing. Taste the tasteless. Magnify the small. Increase the few and reward bitterness with care. Awareness is a state unhampered by thoughts, worries, or individual personalities. That free and uncluttered part of our consciousness is also called awareness. And that awareness is the foundation of who we really are. Awareness comes before all else. You can be aware. You have to do something before you remember what it is. You can be aware someone has entered into the room before you know who it is. When we are tuned into this subtle awareness, we are tuned into the Tao. Throughout this very special series, we have looked at the teachings of the Tao in many different ways. Yet each time we've examined the Tao Te Ching, we were also examining awareness. In the Tao of Creativity, we learn that the ability to be creative rests in each of us. It is not a ration commodity doled out to a few special people. To tap into creativity, we just need to step aside, to turn down the volume on our chattering thoughts long enough for the creative energy to be expressed. The Tao of Release teaches us much the same lesson. We must be willing to release our grasp a bit. Take the time to let go of our prejudices and anger and all the thoughts about how things are supposed to be. Certainly the Tao of Self-Acceptance has a similar teaching also. We are perfect as we are. It is only the opinion we have of ourselves that makes us think otherwise. Why hang on to that opinion? Why not accept that we are who we were meant to be? And that leads us to the Tao of Selflessness. Because once we set aside all of our opinions and evaluations and restrictions, once we are free from defining ourselves by various categories, we can accept ourselves. We can understand that we really are perfect. With acceptance and selflessness comes compassion. Once we accept ourselves, we also accept others. Compassion is not separating other people from us by feeling sorry for them. It is recognizing we are all the same. And so we come to the Tao of Prosperity. Not a material wealth as we would normally assume, but an inner prosperity. The Tao of Prosperity takes away the need for possessions and gives us a wealth of true understanding. Each of these 6 aspects of the Tao contains the same initial element, awareness. To be in touch with the Tao, we must be aware, and if we have awareness, we know the secret of the Tao Te Ching. Everything in life is extraordinary if you are sensitive enough to see it, if we are conscious enough to see it. There is beauty all around us and there is beauty within us. And how we see life depends upon how conscious we are. Consciousness is intelligence. But intelligence is not what I think many of you interpret it as meaning that you have a great deal of education or a great deal of experience or some literary work, let's say in metaphysics. That doesn't mean you're intelligent. Intelligence is knowing what you need when you need it. It is seeing things as they are without the need for judgment or analyzation or criticism. The intelligent person doesn't look at something and go, this is bad, and this is right, and this is wrong, and this is good, and this is the way life should be, and this is the way life shouldn't be. Quite the opposite. The intelligent, conscious person sees life just as it is, and does not need to analyze it, but seeks to flow with it, to harmonize with it. You see, when we are conscious, we are aware of the beauty of life. We have a deep awareness of ourselves and life as a whole. And for the first time in our living, we are not working against life. We are working in the flow of life. One of my very favorite stories came out of a legend, a story about a Zen master who was found by 2 ordinary monks who were traveling the way. And they asked the master, "What did you do before your enlightenment?" The master said, "I chopped wood and I carried water for my master." And they said, "Well, what do you do now that you are enlightened?" He said, "I still chop wood and carry water." The monks were obviously very puzzled. They said, "We don't understand. Before your enlightenment, you chop wood and you carry water, and now you say after your enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water. What is the difference?" The master says, "The difference is infinite." He said, "Before I chopped the wood and I carried the water, and I could not see the beauty of it, the beauty of the wood and the beauty of the water. But," he said, "now my heart beats with the heart of life. My heart beats with the synchronicity of life. Now I see the beauty of life. Now I see the glory of it." And he said, "I am born again. I'm no longer the same person. And everything I do has significance to it." The master was teaching us a very important lesson, an insight. Everything that you and I do is significant. It is important. But we miss that because we are not simple enough. We want to be extraordinary. We want to be extra important. And that's where we lose our awareness and the Tao of Awareness. When you and I are trying to be special people, better than others, we've lost our awareness because what we are doing is we are playing with an intellectual concept of what we think we should be or what we want others to think us to be. We're not born again. We're still living up here in the trap of our mind, thinking that what other people think of us is more important than what we know of ourselves. And it's just simply untrue. Begin to take a look at what I'm saying to you here just for a moment, and it'll change your very life, the way you look at life, the way you look at yourself. Don't try to be extraordinary. You and I think that if we had it our way, we would be president of the world and we would lead all the masses into some noble rebellion over evil or something like that. Let me say this to you. If you're not happy being the person that you are now in the place that you're in right now, you won't be happy with being president of the world either. If you think that there's some sort of magical moment in your life where something's going to happen to you and you're going to be the happiest person in the world because of that moment, you're sadly mistaken. You see, we have to learn and be aware that wherever we are right now is where we need to be. That is awareness. I am right here where I need to be in San Francisco right now. I don't need to be anywhere else but here, working with the things that I'm working with and teaching with you the things that I'm teaching and learning from you the things that I am learning. We could look at our life and say, well, it needs improvement over here and it needs improvement over there. No, our life needs to be understood. We need to be deeply aware of why we are, where we are with our life in the moment that we are in. Don't be wasting your life wishing that you were doing things that you can't be doing right now, or that you're simply not doing right now. Live in the now, this very moment. That is awareness. And awareness begins with just that simple idea. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And even if I am suffering a little bit, or I'm hurting a little bit, where I am, it's okay to be exactly in this place. We live too much in a world of hoping for tomorrow, that it will be a better place than where we are right now. And because we live like that, we hurt greatly. And we miss the moments that we are in. Christianity has a term that Jesus gave to us called born again. They say born again means that some minister waves his hand over your head and you give your life over emotionally for one moment to maybe Jesus, as they say. But I don't think that is born again. I think the Master gives us the whole concept of being born again. To me, being born again is being right where you are, being aware of where you are. And if there is tragedy where you are, if there's joy where you are, if there's sorrow or there are problems or you're confused, just the recognition of that is being born again. It's not trying to change your life. It's being a part of your life, or as I like to say, being present in your life. When I am present in a problem that hurts me, or I'm present in a problem that is painful, and I'm not trying to get out of it, but I'm trying to allow myself to experience it, I have awareness. I have developed consciousness. There's finally hope for me. If you're trying to escape everything in your life, maybe your unhappiness or your feelings of working in a job that is uncomfortable, does not satisfy you, is not rewarding, if you're trying to escape your problems or your shortcomings by trying to intellectually fill them with religious beliefs or philosophical ideas or work or pleasure, you're not going to be aware. And awareness is the key, because only in awareness are we at peace with ourselves in the present moment. Begin to look at this for a moment. To be born again. What does that mean? It means for the first time in our life, we're not trying to escape. It means for the first time in our life, we're not trying to change life. It means we're becoming simple, agile again. In the Tao, it's put this way. When you realize that you are sick-minded, you are no longer sick-minded. It's when you ignore being sick in your mind that you continue the illness of being sick-minded. The Tao was right. When you think you have all the answers, when I think I have all the answers, when we think among the two of us that we agree on some philosophical idea, and then we band together in that philosophical idea thinking that together we can change the world, we've missed it. We need to change ourselves by learning more about who we are. The learning doesn't come from the intellect. It doesn't come from analyzation. It comes from a rich and deep experience of awareness within you. The Tao, again, comes from the heart. It is not a heady experience. And if you wish the way of the Tao to touch your heart and to move into your heart, we need to be open and receptive to it, to begin to look at it as an experience that reveals itself to us without analyzation and without the need of judgment. It simply allows us to see things as they are. Your deepest experience and mine has yet to occur. It's not going to be when we get through this series on TV. It will be when you practice your time in meditation and in silence, when you allow your being to take over within you, the basic kindness of your being, the basic essence of your being. Here we find the deepest, most spiritual experience of our life. It is to know the way of the heart, the way of the being. It is not to fight or to resist life. It is simply to allow life to flow through us. Thank you for being with me in this segment. Namaste. Let's take a moment and allow for the awareness of the Tao. Let me give you some how-tos on the Tao of Awareness. Please again remember that awareness comes only when we are open, not when we are thinking and trying to make things happen. So the first thing is this: practice every day becoming simple. Work by non-doing. And what I mean by that is simply this: don't try to do things with a goal in mind. I know that breaks all of your work ethics, but here's what I'm trying to say to you. In your personal life and in your personal work, try to allow something greater than yourself to move through you. To do that, you're going to have to let go of trying to be such an important person, trying to always be right. Look at yourself. Don't you always have to be right? Aren't you like the rest of us? Everybody has to be right in this world. I've never met anyone who was wrong. No matter how you look at their life and what pain and suffering and chaos seems to be in their life, if you notice, they're always right. If you can stop being right for just a few moments in your day from time to time, it's going to change your life. Because none of us are right and none of us are wrong. If you drop the idea of right and wrong for just a few moments within you, you will see that a lot of your resistance and a lot of the battles that you fight to try to get the things that you think that you want are over with. Now, all of a sudden, you are aware, more deeply aware of what you need when you need it than you've ever been aware of before. Now, for the first time, we become a vessel for God. Finally, love can flow through us. We're not restricting it or limiting it. Love can be what it really is, unconditional. So simplify yourself a little bit. Don't try to be right and don't try to be wrong. Just try to be who you really are. And this leads us to the second step. And this you will hear over and over and over as you work in the Tao. And it is the most important thing, to practice being non-judgmental. We live in a society that prides itself on judgment, and you hear a lot of it today in religion. I'm fed up to hear with all of that bull of religion, telling us that we are all sinners, that we are all wrong because we have a mortal body or a fleshly body. We all have a fleshly body, and we are all human beings. To look at that and to downgrade it or to judge it as bad or wrong, to me, is one of the greatest misnomers of religion. You see, the whole object is simply this: to love yourself as the person you are, to respect yourself as the person you are, and then not to make judgments based on the idea of your limitations or your fears or your shortcomings. Judge everything from the point of view of non-judgment. That everyone, as I said to you earlier, and everything, including ourselves, that we are all in the right place, at the right time, in the right moment. There is no need for us to try to alter life, just to live our life and breathe our way through it. If we are willing to make that kind of experience a reality within us, we will change everything in our life without ever lifting a finger. We will do without doing. And here's the third step, if you can allow yourself to do this, and that is to allow. We are not very allowing people. When we are analytical, judgmental, or feel bad about ourselves because we have a human side to us, we are naturally going to be very resistant people. Practice being allowing. Allow what needs to go through you to go through you. And I have a very important point here on this. I want to take it to the absolute extreme, and that is simply this. If you need to feel pain, feel pain. If you need to suffer, then suffer until you've had enough of it. Until you've had enough of yourself inflicting upon you guilt, fear, regret, anger, whatever it takes. Let it come through you and then let it go. That is the deepest experience of allowing. When I am allowing whatever needs to come through me to heal me, to teach me, to awaken me, to do so. Allow for life to move through you. You didn't come on this planet to suffer, and you didn't come on this planet to be happy either. You didn't come on this planet to get anything or to gain anything. You are here for your own reasons, to find the Tao of your heart and to awaken to your own life experience. Thank you. Well, awareness is not thinking that you know what's going on. Awareness is being present wherever you are. And here in Chinatown, it's a very interesting place. There's over 30,000 people that live in a radius of 4 blocks by 12 blocks. And if you're going to move around in this area, you got to know where you are and be present in the moment. There is nothing more important than self-awareness. And if we are aware of ourselves, we'll be able to not only move around in this world with some insight, but we will be present in our own life. And a lot of people aren't. We're so filled with convictions and thoughts and attitudes about what we think life is that we miss what really is happening around us. The Tao of Awareness is simply saying to us, be not only aware of what's around you, even in the form of danger, but be aware of what's within you. That's also a form of danger. A lot of the problems that we have in our life are self-imposed. It's because we don't have the awareness to, so to speak, nip it in the bud. Practice this week. Walking, living, breathing, knowing. Being aware, being present within yourself. Drop your ideas of what you think life should or should not be. Be aware. And whatever happens in your life, move with it without hesitation. If there is sorrow in your life, understand the sorrow. If there is joy in your life, then go with the joy. But whatever is going on in your life, don't hesitate. Move with the flow of it. Be deeply aware that these things come into your life for you to recognize yourself a little bit more, awaken a little bit more, feel a little bit more, to come alive a little bit more. The Tao of Awareness. It comes from our heart. Thanks for being with us on this edition of Aspire. I hope you will join us next week as we continue in our spiritual effort. Namaste.